Hi, I'm going to explain how to build the technology that you need to build a cooperative application. Yeah, so there's not much to build in terms of cooperative application. This is something that can help facilitate all your transport and delivery. Everything you imagine goes on in society, this technology can support that cooperatively. I'm going to say not for profit, but the actual machine actually makes profit. But the people take a share of that profit. It supports kind of delivery and purchasing and finance. So it's a ticketing technology, but it's very simple application technology that allows you to work cooperatively together, regardless of whether you're a private business or customer, and you want to maintain competition. So it's not some kind of log of rules. It's not anything like that. So what I'm talking about is cooperative technology. So you're walking around with your phone, or you might not be. You might have dropped your phone. So technology is there to support us. Let me just say, well, everything we're going to talk about really in technology, unless we're writing some code, is going to be some analogy. So we'll start the analogy and say we've got a little pin. So that's you in the world, and it's your phone really. It's your phone, just that ID. There's a little pin. What I'm going to draw is an analogy for the actual function itself, the technology. So it's going to look here now like a pipe. Okay, so what we can imagine is something very inert. It doesn't really do anything until something goes down it. Okay, so this is maybe like a drain pipe with water, or I'm going to say it's like one of those things that's in the supermarket that sucks money around up in the ceiling. So you got this little pipe there, and what I'm going to draw now is a potato, funnily enough. So here's a potato. Okay, so a potato dropped out of the pipe. You can see that there. Okay, so what's wonderful about technology and dropping your phone and not having technology is that you know everything's right in the world when you're having chips for tea. So what you've got is your pin in your phone, and all of a sudden a potato pops out at tea time because you needed a potato. So however you think that, the point about presenting everything in the world this way is that everything in terms of the rules that you might interpret in the world, the law, all those rules on your app when you press my information, all that kind of thing, everything orders quite neatly, retrospectively, once you receive the potato. In fact, you can even give it stars from there. You put stars on a potato. So, retrospectively, everything makes sense. So, you know, everything in the world is like this, you know, the world is festooned with these raindrops, and you just simply select your potato. But it makes sense to the machine once it's delivered. Okay, so this machine is like it's also like a cog. Okay, it's like a cog in the cloud. It's another analogy. In space. And it's, again, this is a bit too much mechanical, but it's a bit more mechanical now because I'm going to take a red pen and say this is that company that's supplying the potato. So let me just, so it's coming on a container ship, right? So I'm just going to draw a container like that. Just try and colour it in. The orange container. Got yellow gold. And it's going to go on your railway, open up, nice colour. And this is like a 24/7 pin, it's always there. You know, it's this container full of potatoes. It's constantly raining onto the world because you're constantly eating potatoes. So this is like the mechanic, but it's yesterday's mechanic. It's reflecting the accounts, you see. So this cooperative app does the accounts in a manner of fashion, but the accountant will do it. You know, it's just a cog. It just knows there's a cog in space. So this cog, you can say, it's like a waterfall, right? So it's powered by community, and it is community. So over here is this waterfall like that. Okay, it's going over this cog. In fact, what we can do is describe this thing now a bit more mechanically. Okay, so this cog, this water wheel, is now, I'm going to slightly describe it better by putting this water wheel all the way around it, this water. So I've ring-fenced it with the potato provider and the demand for the potato. So this is your potato chips, and back again. The back again is obviously the fact that it was yesterday's potato, and we want to talk to the accountant about how much money we made. So we've got the sort of demand potatoes, and now we need to associate with this in the machine, because it's an empty machine, with time, because it's economics. It's an economic machine. And so in this instance, we're talking about the employment of the, you know, the payment of for the potato. So here is a we've got kind of like two things that are going to connect. So this red one is going to represent the sort of accountancy. So basically, if this is a cog just in space, right, I'm ring fencing it again with just a couple of things. Okay, so what we're doing, there's two things, is saying that the machine, quite interestingly, is picking up your potato, and what we're saying is that it's gonna, it was yesterday, you've got your potato, right? It was yesterday. So if we turn to economics, and now I think about some kind of thing in space, right? I'm thinking it's a cooperative thing, and you know, is it expensive? Is it going to get nicked, or how does it get hacked, or all this security? Well, it's fine, we ring fenced it. And what the important thing is because it's an economics machine, I can make this the most perfect machine in the world. I can say that, well, if I'm in charge, then it would look perfect, because economics is a science, you see. So what I can do, understanding economics, is look at this demand price, and because it's a system, it's like a post office. It's very simple. Look, you demanded the thing, and you get it all the time. You're just getting potatoes all the time. It's great. So the problems actually are that you don't need to compute anything. If everyone's just getting potatoes thrown at them all the time, they're eating chips, fine. So the problem, there isn't really a problem when, there isn't really a problem. Oh yeah, the problem is computing anything at all. That's the problem. So we've got this perfect economic thing that really wants hacking. I want things to hack into it. For a start, I want the potato website to hack into it, so I can get my potatoes. I want the accountant to hack into it. But what's funny about this thing, because it's like a post office, it's helping you get your potato. What it does is the market allows, what it does is you put the potato on the market and you put a little ticket next to it. So this is your ticket, potato ticket. per potato. Now you know what price it's going to be if you, as a community, buy wholesale, right? Potatoes going to be a price if you buy wholesale, simple. But because it's just a tube, it's not a machine, it's a tube, it's a free market tube, potato tube. What it does is if you sell a potato, you go, yeah, customer, look, you take half of it and I'll keep the other half. And when you get it, it's fine, get it, right? And actually that allows the free market to retrospectively put a price. We'll put it's 10, this one. So then you sell a potato for a tenner, because if that's the price of the market, but you bought it wholesale, so you already know it's probably 10p or something. 10p potato. So everything's fine, you're just getting your potatoes, because you're probably having potatoes at chip time, you don't need to really understand. You're doing the same thing every day, right? That's the point. So what this ring fencing does with the accountancy is, each time you're a customer, you engage with this cooperative. Okay, so we're going to take your real cash, your accountancy cash with the Queen, and we're just going to hold on to it. And what we're going to do is use the computer tickets around the system until you've received it. But you'll be probably receiving potatoes 100% of the time. So we're just going to pile up money. And the great thing is, because there's nothing actually happening in this application, there's no product, you're plugging in your production product, and as a consumer consuming it, you're just sticking a pin in the air. Everything's retrospective, and the problem that you were thinking about with technology, which they're doing wrong, is that you have to remember all this. You have to store it for the accountant. But what they talk about in logistics is the manifest. Now your farmer's got the manifest. You've got a container full of potatoes, and everybody in the group is getting potatoes all the time. So you don't need to compute anything. The manifest says everybody's getting potatoes all the time. You can make this more sense if you say certain o'clock every day, and it makes sense when someone's driving it and it's happily a full container, it's happily a full day. Make some sense out of it. Because once you change the parameters and you say it's not making sense, we need 2 drivers. Well, the whole point of the group is everyone's eating, right? So the whole point of the group is everyone's eating, right? Start there, because you can't have a group when one of them isn't eating. So this is an inclusive, cooperative group. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that principle of eating and pile up these nice banknotes. But it's only going to be for a certain period, because eventually you're going to have to pay the potato man, the farmer. Now, always supposing the farm's not in your cooperative. He's got, 12 boar and stuff. It can be if he wants to be. But we're going to pile up this cash for time. But yeah, so for a time we have this cash. And in that time what we can do is, because it's a free system and you can be an accountant, you can plug in your accountant thing, you can plug in your potato shop, whatever. And it's the best system. What you can now know is that it's ring fenced, and you can either plug into it legitimately, or you can try and hack it and create your new ring fence. And the point of doing the ring fence is because your cooperative group is more profitable if you include another person, right? It's an inclusive thing. Okay, that has a roof on it. But what we do now in this country is, for a long term, we've supported 6% unemployed out of the working population. So if we make it a better group, say 10%, we can cope with 10%, and you might just get a hotel for a night, and we might just find another productive job. That's one thing. But that's just good business. So good business is going to plug in. The other thing is that what you're going to do is, if you're going to have a group that says, I'm going to support homelessness and house it. I'm going to, you know, do a better deal for the unemployed. You're going to have a problem with working time, because the whole point is you're only employed in the economy because you've built a machine, you've done your job. Right? There's no reason to say that you need to stop eating. Right? So what you can do is you say, right, these are the perfect economic conditions, and unemployment is good, right? Because you built a machine. So instead of 10 farmers, you've got one who's got a machine, but you're all still eating. That's the whole deal. That's the group. And you're piling up money until you pay the farmer. But you're getting potatoes all the time. Yesterday, fine. So this is the perfect economy, but it could be perfect with 11 out of 10, out of 100 unemployed, 50% unemployed. But what does that mean? It's getting a bit boring every day. So you end up wanting to do something, or you have a great idea, a new machine. So then somebody in the world basically wants to plug in their product that's just new or competitive, cheaper. So it goes up the list in the ranking basically on price. And then there's finance basically. So what you do in finance, it's the same with the machine. You put whatever your thing is on the market, and your green, and your this time green tickets. When someone buys it, you split it in half. When it arrives, you say, yeah, great. And then the money transaction happens. But the computer's storing this money up for the time until you pay the greens man. Then usually in the accounting company's got a 30, 60, 90-day credit kind of thing that happens anyway. So he's plugged in with his 90-day credit. So really, this app allows your perfect free economy ring fence to exist, because you know it's different once it changes. So as soon as somebody changes something, you're going to say, oh, somebody's put something in it and it's different. It's just got woo. It's like, all right, okay. Happily, some clever computer guys just made it duplicate itself, or just separate it. Well, even why would you need to? I mean, the point is, you're getting a potato. The problem is, when you don't get a potato, that's the problem. You need to get a bell and ring it. So if you're a homeless person, you need to sit in the street until somebody realises you don't have a house and you don't have food. And then what they should do is just take you in a car and go and buy a house. Say, point one out, and if there's one that's fucking gorgeous and massive, take it. Because the computer is a free market price. And we're piling up money, banknotes. And it's, to anybody at any time, it's 60, 30, 90-day credit to receive the real money when they need it. And to receive the food when they need it. It's a matter of time. So it's basically, this happened, and when it didn't happen, you can mark a time on it and say, oh, it didn't happen. Oh, right, we need some of this cash for now. But, I mean, that's how it would work. And but it's free market, so it sorts itself out. So that's the finance bit. The finance comes, and basically you make, because greens, 10 greens have gone, or no, let's say pick a different number. Let's say 100 greens is gone. You got 100, you've put a price on it anyway, but to know it's more expensive or cheaper, you could hack in and say, oh, well, let's do my free market price, and because it's fine, because you count it when people receive the potato. If they don't receive a potato, that's when you start carrying the burden of finding a potato, because the homeless person will find themselves. They're in the street, and a house is as good as a potato. So your perfect ring fence system is going to be secure because it looks different every time, and people want the thing, the genuine thing, and they want to hack into it. So your first hack is going to allow businesses to integrate. It's just a website. You've got your different businesses, and you want to just, all right, I'll have that, because every penny that I have is going to be better. It's going to support 10% unemployed instead of fewer these days. So So the real thing is, so now we've got these extra things in. I mean, other things, you know, you can have more than potatoes, by the way. You know, and as a group, by sticking a pin in it, you're saying, you know, I'm both of these. So your personal thing is going to be a certain shape. You know, and you are going to be, that, you know, over here you are going to be like either homeless, eating food, and then a beneficiary. Let's just try a minimum futures food line. Can we see that? And then we have a big graph. That's your beneficiary. Okay, something to do with something I'm telling you in a second. And then some of the different colour. 1, 2, 3 steps. Whoa. Employed. So we've got homeless. Beneficiary, employed. You know, the employed people are like people who receive finance. When they make a profit, the profit goes back in here. Okay? Think about it. We're piling up cash. So everything's okay because everybody's getting their goods at the time that they said that they wanted it. I mean, this is yesterday's potato. We've got the potato. If we didn't get a whole potato, we would know that we could just go to the local shop and go, where's my potato? And then we'd have to say to the shop, look, somebody on the other side of the planet might have 2 houses or no potatoes, or they might be homeless at the same time. It's a funny thing about economics, it has balances in it. Now, the wonderful thing is, whether you are unemployed, blah, 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 when you go to a shop, imagine a homeless person and somebody who has a job. They both go to the shop, put food in their bags, and they both walk out. What happens? What happens is the one that's employed is putting money over the counter, piling up notes. Because technically the employed one can save up and receive, but the beneficiary needs to receive council benefits and not receive anything technically in this system. Okay, so for them, until they work, this magic thing is only going to sustain better conditions for them, because you want to rent them a house and you might want to have better insurance. That means that you don't have to differentiate between tenants. So basically the difference between people going into the shop is that the employed ones over here are sticking money behind the counter, saving it up, and then obviously paying for the goods. But they're making a profit because they're investing in that 90 days in the real world. So they're investing, they're making a profit. It's like 2% a year or something. Now these beneficiaries, they're just taking the food. I mean, it's the same as last year. So the point for the money is for these people. You know, if you take the same as last year, you know, you're fine. And so it's basically eat every day or don't. Live in a house every day or don't. So you don't have to mess around. So these companies, they can do wholesale energy. They can do rent. You know, everything, you know, that you imagine that's messing about with bills, you can do wholesale. You know, cheaper. So everything on this system is going to rush to the cheapest thing, which is fantastic. What it's going to do is it's going to mean you're going to need to have an accounting company first, setting up this ring fence, conjoined with an employment agency. So if you imagine building the app or anything that in a year is traded through this app, you need to imagine the better conditions must be supplied by a good contract with you know, all the labour that you demand. In that 52 weeks, what you want to do is create a machine that gives you more time off in the 52nd week than it did in the first. So you all share the profit. Now, these aren't laws. This is free economics. So you make a machine and share the profit. You make an efficient thing. Build it, and then stop building it. And so because you're just receiving potatoes, you just need to understand when you don't receive a potato, that's when there's a problem, and a computer comes, the computer goes, because somewhere in the real world, a potato is going to be on the floor and it's job and knock, and someone says, what the fuck is a potato doing on the floor? Where's the homeless guy? Where's his chips? Right? So we want like a balanced diet, lots of company. So the reason why we need employment agencies is we actually need to make sure that when we get companies that are taking benefits, either universal credit or your housing allowance, progressively making a better conditions, and making a profit with this system, that we don't make, let's have a look here, too many people realise they don't want to be a waitress for cheap. I'm unemployed. I don't want to be cheap labour. It's better to be unemployed, which it is. What then we can do, the free market is doing this. They can make that process with this here, unemployment thing, just sharing it. So then you basically want to earn more money when you're a waitress. So it pushes, instead of messing around with, it doesn't change anything, it's an empty pipe. Instead of messing around with the world and piling up memory, it basically balances the fact that you're all going to lose the waitress, cheap labour. The waitress is going to say, well, you know what, I'm going to do this thing because it gets me an extra day off. I need to employ people with the understanding that they're going to get more time off, more holidays. And that's how I can build in to any company in a deal. So whatever that company is producing, some kind of trade, give that person time off. So the free market plugs in, and you basically, by choosing it, you create your personality ring fence, which is the same as anybody else, but it's retrospective. So anybody can sort of hack in, and as long as you provide this, the conditions for impersonalized data, you can hack in and say, what's going on in this local town? What does it need? Oh, it actually needs a dentist, and the dentist needs to be paid more. So you put your dentist website on, and things work themselves out. I don't know if I've described it. Everything's happening in the world already. It doesn't need to be computers because it's really a post office. The people who are delivering it have got just a name and address, and they know what they're doing. So really, what you can talk about this computer system as well is the a future of a 24-hour lorry or something, or some kind of efficient lorry. Instead of all these machines and warehouses. So essentially, the computer is finance. So once you put it on there, once you put a picture on there on your website, and integrate it into this co-op technology, people then, by purchasing it, create their shape, which is like a barcode in space, and there are many people with the same barcode. You later, retrospectively, say, well, if to fit in this community, what information do I need? Because there's a shop that's like this or isn't like this locally. I want to do this. Put it on there. Just like a normal selling anything website, but that so many days that's the only rule, isn't it? You sign up to 30 days that your money doesn't go to the destination, and it's going to happen anyway. So this is a ticketing thing that allows you this 30-day credit to amass this amount of money, depending on, it could be everybody in the country every day. At least, there's 66 million people. And then that investment thing is free because you plug in and you go, this is my product. It's a picture of it. And some genius person will hack in an empty code to sort of help you with the pricing and all these sort of things you can do at university and learning information. But essentially, it's all about ping, here I am, ping, yes, I have received this probable thing that already exists in society, or ping, this is a new good. How do you get a new good into society and rank it? You put it on a website where everything is pretty much ranked. So this basically allows your high street to be known. It's freedom of information. You can know where things are locally, go to one place and say, oh, I need a ladder and I need some meat and veg with my potatoes, some gravy and pudding or something. And you kind of, I don't know, you go on your tom-tom, turn left here, oh no, don't forget your fucking... So, you build a tech, you already have the shops and the goods, just stick a pipe in the cloud, because this is free economic pipe. And by understanding the numbers on the tickets, you can audit everything, and you can do that internationally, cooperatively. And the best co-op is going to supply the best conditions for the unemployed, because that's you when you built the machine. You've done the best job. Give up. Go home. Sit in the grass, have a